All right. So our experiment number 6 is still related to flowchart, but this time I would like you to make block diagram and flowchart using Microsoft Visio. So kung nag-install kayo ng Microsoft Visio, ganito lang yung itsura niya. So I'm showing my screen. I'm using Visio 2013. Ayan. So pag inopen mo siya, so simple click and drag lang naman yan. So madali lang siyang gawin. Pero kung hindi available sa'yo yun, sabi ko nga, pwede kang gumamit nung Draw.io, 'di ba? Hindi ko alam kung may nakagamit na sa inyo nun, pero very convenient, 'di ba? Simple click and drag lang din naman yung ginagawa dito. So you can use either, pwede kang mag-install ng Microsoft Visio or pwede kang gumamit ng Draw.io. So I don't know in your previous experiment kung gumamit ka nun. If so, so okay lang naman. Yung objective natin, syempre, for you to learn and manage basic diagrams, workflows, and flowcharts. So, believe me or not, even in the industry after you graduate, yung skill mo in creating diagram, flow, and flowchart very significant. Kasi lahat naman po ng institution kailangan magawa nito. Kaya kailangan andun pa rin yung skill natin. So you have to get acquainted with Microsoft Visio or in your case Draw.io, which is the fastest, the easiest tool for creating flowcharts, organization charts, timelines, marketing diagrams, and much more. So hindi ko naman kayo nililimit in using Microsoft Visio. So aside from Draw.io, marami pang available na online platform for you to use para makapag-draw tayo ng diagram and flowchart. So just a recap, block diagram is a simplified illustration of a system, a program, or process. The electronic and computer industries, we use block diagrams to convey a variety of technical information. Usually, kapag gumamit tayo ng block diagram, we use blocks to represent. Each individual block represents a stage, substage, or unit of the total system as an independent function. And individual blocks may represent aspect of process as inflow diagrams. Blocks may also represent individual modules, units, or removable portions of the total system made up of multiple sections. So case to case. Pero based on my experience, the usual naman kapag gumawa tayo ng block diagram, we use rectangular boxes. And then the usual is we do it horizontal or vertical. So these are the components of a block diagram. So blocks, a variety of simple geometric shapes used for block diagrams. Although rectangular forms are the most common, as I have said, blocks can be placed vertically, sabihin from top to bottom, or horizontally from left to right, depending on the need of the diagram. In general, a block diagram should contain a few different sizes of blocks as possible. So, hindi kailangan na ang daming shapes or symbols ang ilalagay natin when we represent the block diagram. Hindi rin kailangan na maraming processes. So, make it as simple as possible. So, common flow diagram and block diagram geometric shapes are square, rectangular, or rectangle, tubular, diamond, triangle, circle, and elliptical. Pero sabi ko nga sa inyo, the most commonly used is rectangle. Symbols naman, so these are usually units and are normally depicted with aspects of the real-life configuration. And flow line simply connects blocks and symbols according to the functional sequence of the system. Flow lines are drawn as solid, medium weight lines. The thickness of the line should be the same as that used for the blocks. And all flow lines are drawn with horizontal and vertical lines. So do not use diagonal lines or rounded corners. Laging ganon. Either horizontal lang yung line or vertical yung line. We never use diagonal line when we represent, even for the flow chart, diba? For the block diagram. Ayan, so just a recap, algorithms and flow charts. So a typical programming task can be divided into two phases, one of which is the problem-solving phase. It produces an ordered sequence of steps that describes solution of problem. Ang sequence of steps na yan, tinatawag po natin na algorithm. Parang katulad siya ng recipe kapag gusto po natin na magluto. And then implementation phase is where we implement the program in some programming language. So dito na magbabari. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, hindi naman talaga mahalaga na you know a lot of programming languages. What's important is that you know the theory and the principle behind that. In my case, 'di ba? Nung nagpunta ako sa industry, hindi naman yung pinag-aralan ko nung college yung ginamit ko doon. So I have to learn new programming language. And even up until now na nasa bagong industry nga ako, so iba-ibang programming languages ulit yung kailangan kong aralin. But then again, the knowledge, alam ko yung skill, yung algorithm, yung flowchart, madali ko siyang nagagawa. So, flowcharts. So, in dictionary, sabi dito, schematic representation of a sequence of operations as in a manufacturing process or computer program. In the technical perspective, it's a graphical representation of the sequence of operations in an information system or program. Information system flowcharts show how data flows from source documents through the computer to final distribution to users. Program flowcharts also show the sequence of instructions in a single program or subroutine. Different symbols are used to draw each type of flow chart. So, yung some of which medyo na-discuss ko na naman sa inyo in our previous discussion. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng oval for denoting the beginning or the end of a program. Flow line that denotes the direction of logic flow in a program. We also use parallelogram that denotes either an input operation, example input, or an output operation, example print. And then we also use rectangle that denotes a process to be carried out. Example, an addition process. And then the diamond simply denotes a decision or branch to be made. The program should continue along one of the two routes. So we use if then else and then naglalagay tayo dun sa flow line ng yes, no, true, false, 1, 0, on, off. So binary in nature depending on the need of your flowchart. And then dito naman, nagpakita lang ulit ako ng example. For the first example, you have to write an algorithm and flowchart for you to determine a student's final grade and indicate whether it is passing or failing. The final grade is calculated as the average of the 4 marks. So, if that's the case, syempre, kung ililay down mo yung ating algorithm, yung first step natin will be asking 4 marks from the user or from the student. We call that variables M1, M2, M3, and then M4. For the next step, we need to get the summation of the 4 inputs from the user. We needed to get the average, so we have to divide that by 4. Then, isi-save natin siya as grade. And then, since we are also tasked to determine whether the student fail or pass the subject, so pwede tayong gumamit ng conditional statement. If the grade of the student is less than 70, then we have to print fail. Else, kapag siya ay greater than 70, so we have to print pass. So case to case yan. Depende kung yung passing rate natin ay 75, 80%. In this example, ang passing rate natin ay 71. So, if we are to make a flowchart for that purpose, di ba? So, andali na, given na na-identify na natin yung pseudocode na list na natin. So, we will use, of course, for the input, gagamit tayo ng symbol na parallelogram. So, we have inputs M1, M2, M3, and then M4. And then we have to process by getting the average of the per inputs from the user. We need to use diamond for the condition na kapag yung grade ay less than 70, then we have to print fail, otherwise pass, and then we stop. Yung pangalawang example naman natin is an algorithm, or you have to write an algorithm and draw a flowchart that will simply convert the length in feet to centimeter. So again, so aas tayo ng input from the user, and then we have to get the conversion of the feet to centimeter, and then we have to print the output. So dito, naglagay lang tayo dito ng flowchart. So again, we have to use parallelogram for the inputs and outputs. And then for the computation, we have to use process. So sa example na to, wala namang kailangan na condition. So hindi naman natin kailangan i-check yung output value na na-produce natin. And then yung third example natin is we'll be writing an algorithm that simply reads The two input values from the user determines the largest value and then prints the largest value with an identifying message. So again, we have to ask input from the user, input values 1 and 2. And then if the first value is greater than value 2, then we set or we store value 1 to be the maximum value. Else, we store value 2 as the maximum value. And then ipiprint natin yung the largest value which is max. Again, relative yung max, 'di ba? The max variable changes depending on the input values of the user. Kaya okay lang na ang ginamit natin dito ay variable max. And then we stop. Ngayon, ang goal natin is for you to explore Microsoft Visio or you have to use Draw.io, diba? So dito pinakita lang yung itsura ng Visio na I already showed to you earlier na simple click and drag lang naman yun. So these are the simple steps. So you can open Visio, you can open the shapes template, drag and drop the shapes to workspace like square, rectangle, triangle. Drag is done by pointing on the object, then hold down the left button of the mouse and move it to the point where the object will be placed, and then release to drop. And then you can flip the triangle both horizontally and vertically and observe what will happen. You can also misalign them and group them by dragging the left mouse button until all of the blocks are highlighted. Connect them using the connect button. Then undo what you just did and connect the shapes by using the pencil tool. You may also choose the line tool. You can change the thickness of the line and the block by clicking on the shape first and then click on the line tool. Make sure that the object is highlighted when you do this one. And then name the block by double-clicking on the shape or by using the text tool. Then it's up to you now what file naming convention you would like to save. Anyway, hindi ko naman inaasa inyo right now yung file na ginamit natin for Draw.io and Visio. Ganun pa rin yung step natin. You simply have to use snipping tool or take the screenshot of your output. Ito lang yung kailangan nating gawin. Yung ating unang exercise, idodraw mo lang yung diagram using proper line and weights and proper standards. So, etong binigay kong example na to, i-remake mo lang siya using a Microsoft Visio or Draw.io. And then yung pangalawa, i-redraw mo lang din yung power supply na binigay ko. Ayan. So you just have to be creative. Ito diode ito kasi baka hanapin mo siya kapag gagamit ka ng Draw.io. Pinag-combine ko lang to. So diode lang po ito. And then syempre, lagay ka ng mga annotations. So yung mga text na nakikita po natin. And then for the communication naman, gamit ka rin ng SSB receiver. Ito, ito-drawing mo lang din yung block diagram ng SSB receiver. And then that's it. Again, for your report, ang kailangan ko lang problem specification, results and discussion. Ito lang yung tatlo. 1, 2, and then 3. Then provide a conclusion. I-save natin properly. Save po natin as PDF following the naming convention and then upload po natin sa classwork. Thank you very much.